What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Kings related podcast, wherever you may be, where the San Antonio Spurs snap the Kings winning streak in something we've seen so often this season in blowout fashion. But first, before we get into tonight's post-game recap, thank you as always for joining me for another edition of the show. And if you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you give us a follow on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast platform you prefer. And if you're watching over on YouTube, please hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. That will be much appreciated. As tonight, folks, the Kings were down as much as 38 points. And this ball game was over early as the San Antonio Spurs walked into G1C with a purpose. And this wasn't a matchup against the Utah Jazz or the Indiana Pacers. The Spurs are a bona fide contender in not just the Western Conference, but the entire NBA. And they took a bus and ran over the Sacramento Kings to the tune of a 132-104 victory. The San Antonio Spurs, it was a wire-to-wire victory. Kings did not lead at once in this game, trailing as many as I mentioned by 38 points. And for a team that coming into tonight won for the past 5 games entering tonight, and they fell from the top spot in the lottery to 4th with 12 games to go. We're back to what we should be doing here with 12 games left in this season, and not winning many games, because if this team wins, that could have a dramatic effect for this team going forward if you do not land one of these top prospects in the draft this June, like a Peterson, a DeBonsa, a Boozer, or a Fleming. If the Kings don't add one of these bona fide top prospects, I don't know what to get excited about for next season. Yeah, you can hit on a prospect in 8th or 9th, but the fall off is dramatic when we're talking about the upper echelon of this draft. So tonight you had San Antonio, who entered the night with the second best record in the NBA, and tonight they showed why. Early in this ball game, the Spurs never trailed during the first half. They had 78 points in the first half on 62% shooting, 14 of 23 from the 3-point range, en route to taking a 31-point lead into the halftime break. And speaking of the first half for the San Antonio Spurs, they had 27 assists and only 2 turnovers in the first half against the Sacramento Kings. Absolutely insane. And the Kings defense tonight was non-existent. Just non-existent tonight by Sacramento. You did not let San Antonio feel you. You let them get whatever they wanted in the paint, at the 3-point line downtown. And you had Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox. You had Harrison Barnes, who had 11 points. You had Champagnie, who had 12 points, who led all scorers against a putrid Kings defense that couldn't stop a nosebleed tonight, and they can't stop a nosebleed all season. So, like, this game was over. You can make the Spurs scored 39 points in the first quarter, 39 points in the second quarter. You can make the case that this game was over after the first 12 minutes of this ball game. That's how bad it was. But it wasn't all doom and gloom for the Sacramento Kings. You had Max Raynaud, who, again, played really well in this game. But before we get to Max, let's talk about Russell Westbrook. Like, not a great game for him, scoring-wise, but he did leapfrog a pair of legends on this game, passing Mark Jackson and Steve Nash for sole possession of fifth place on the all-time leading assist list tonight. And Russ had 10 assists in this game, but just 5 points overall. Maxime Raynaud, who played well in the last time and when he faced off against his fellow Frenchman Wembanyama down in Austin, Texas a few short weeks ago. And they have actually known each other for years, and it showed tonight in this game as it was a career night for Maxime Raynaud. 32 points, 9 rebounds in 42 minutes. Really good game for Max in this game. And Victor, he countered with 18 points, 8 rebounds, and he didn't have to play a lot of minutes because this game was over early. Victor only played 22 minutes in this game. Raynaud Clifford quietly put together one of his, in my opinion, better all-around games this season in his early career. Like, I don't care about the score, but you want to focus on the young players and are they developing. And 15 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists tonight for Raynaud Clifford, and his 3-point shooting continues to improve as well. And if he can work on that 3-point shooting this offseason, that could go a long way for Raynaud for next season as he progresses into his second year next season. Killian Hayes, fresh off the 2-year deal that he signed the other day with the Sacramento Kings, and over the weekend, he is settling in and looking like a player. Again, 24 years old. Again, if he can consistently knock down those jump shots, the Kings have found themselves a nice gem going forward. Tonight, 7 points, 5 assists. He also added a steal, and I thought he played some solid defense as well. One of the only guys who played defense tonight. And, like, again, if he can consistently knock down the jump shot, again, the Kings, I think, found themselves a player who was once the 7th overall pick in the NBA draft. So Doug McDermott, an opportunity for Doug McDermott here with all the injuries that the Kings have faced this season and the dismal season that it has been. And the sharp shooting veteran is getting a shot to play meaningful minutes as we wind down this regular season. And he found his shooting stroke in this game. 4 of 8 from downtown for 12 points for Dougie McBuckets. Daquan Plowden, two-way guy for the Kings. Just keep going. Really impressed by Plowden here as we wind down this season. And he's finishing this season strong for the 27-year-old two-way player who he's trying to earn his way into this league. And if it's here in Sacramento or somewhere else. Like, he's athletic, he plays defense, and he isn't shy about hoisting up 3-point shots. And that's something that this Kings team could use and something that could keep him in this league. And he was 3 of 8 from downtown, 14 points, and 2 steals off the Sacramento Kings bench in this game. So, but this game was over early. Kings are now 18-51 on the season. Next up, they got the Philadelphia 70 Thursday night, and then on Sunday, they got the Brooklyn Nets in town before the Kings hit the road for the final road trip of this season, going back east. So Sunday, somebody has to win that game. And right now, if you're looking at the lottery odds, nobody wants to win that game, Brooklyn or Sacramento, because of the, and right now the Kings and the Nets, like, the basically tied there for the 4th worst record in the NBA. So but somebody has to win on Sunday. And then on Thursday, you're facing Philadelphia, who's in the playoff mix over in the mediocre Eastern Conference. So hopefully Philly wins that game on Thursday night. So Kings lose. This was not a contest whatsoever. San Antonio Spurs proved why they were the better team and why they have been the better team all season long. In my opinion, San Antonio is my pick to come out of the Western Conference and go to the NBA Finals. This team is legitimate. They are really good. And if this is what they look like in the regular season, they are going to be even scarier in the playoffs. And I don't buy the experience thing like that most people talk about. This team is not going to be an easy out for anyone they face in the playoffs. So Kings lose. They're back in action on Thursday, taking on Philadelphia, and we will have another post-game recap after that game. So thank you, as always, for joining me on the Kings-related podcast and this post-game recap. If you enjoy this podcast, make sure you give us a follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and whatever you prefer podcast platform is. We are a video podcast on Spotify and YouTube, so by all means, please catch the video feed. That would be much appreciated. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. But until next time, we'll see you Thursday night following the Sixers and the Kings for another post-game recap. And as always, go Kings.